Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Army troops neutralize siege remnant in Negros Occidental clash. Philippine Navy tracks 19 Chinese warships in West Philippine Sea in November. LTFRB finalizes special permit bids for holidays. Malacanang calls on lawmakers to speed up budget deliberation.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, December 3, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Susan Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, Army soldiers from the 94th Infantry Battalion neutralized the Communist Terrorist Group remnant in a brief firefight in Sitio Cabagal, Barangay Buena Vista, Himamaylan City, Negros Occidental yesterday. Acting on residents' reports of extortion activities, seized M16 rifle, ammunition, and documents at the encounter site. The Army identified the fatality only by the alias Marcos, said to be a member of the dismantled Central Negros 2 unit. 3rd Infantry Division Commander Major General Michael Sampson lauded the operation and urged the remaining CTG members to surrender and join government reintegration programs.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
7 members of New People's Army surrendered with high-powered firearms to the 1st Mechanized Infantry Brigade in Tupi, South Cotabato. The turnover of the personalities from dismantled Sub-Regional Committee 2 of the Southern Mindanao Regional Committee, including Arvin Ian Todon alias Pakat or Bansay. The secretary of the group was witnessed by provincial and national agencies, marked what officials describe as a new beginning for the group as they opted to abandon armed struggle. Authorities said the former rebels received initial assistance and began processing for enrollment in the ECLIP reintegration program. 1st Mechanized Infantry Brigade Commander Brigadier General Omar Orozco thanked partner agencies and urged the continued support for peace efforts and for persuading remaining armed members to return to civilian life.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Nolcon, let us hear some information from Jan. 503rd Infantry Brigade urges remaining CTG to surrender, assures safety.
The first Civil Relations Group was established in 2002 when the Civil Relations Service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines regionalized its efforts in critical regions, positioning itself closer to the community it serves. Its headquarters is situated at Camp Cerveliano Aquino, San Miguel, Tarlac City, and it was placed under the operational control of the Northern Luzon Command when it was activated as a unified command pursuant to the Secretary of National Defense memo to the Chief of Staff of the AFP dated April 12, 2002, covering Northern and Central Luzon. During its activation, the personnel of the First Civil Relations Group were branded as peacemakers, adhering to the tenets of settling conflicts through peaceful means without compromising the true mandate of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the real protector of the people. True to its moniker, the First Civil Relations Group was involved in civil-military operations, with one specific instance being the deployment of its Special Operations Team to several Tarlac City barangays for the government's Kalahi program.
Thank you so much, Joanne from Nolcom.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines said that 252 out of 10,000 inspected infrastructure projects were identified as ghost projects in coordination with the Philippine National Police. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francil Margaret Padilla said the inspections form part of a broader review of 30,000 projects assigned to both agencies. She added that the AFP and PNP will submit full reports to the Independent Commission for Infrastructure for further investigation. The joint inspections aim to accelerate probes into possible corruption, following President Marcos's earlier warnings on the misuse of public funds.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy said it monitored 19 People's Liberation Army Navy vessels across multiple maritime zones in the West Philippine Sea throughout November. Navy spokesperson Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad said the monitoring reflects sustained maritime domain awareness and efforts to safeguard Philippine territory and sovereign rights. The service also tracked 14,972 vessels nationwide last month, including 12,450 foreign ships. Rear Admiral Trinidad reaffirmed the Armed Forces' commitment in maintaining a credible presence amid persistent Chinese activity in Philippine waters.
Armed Forces Radio.
And there's some information from MJ about AFP probes reported recruitment of Filipinos for Ukraine war.
Yes, good noon. The Armed Forces of the Philippines said it is investigating claims that Filipinos are being recruited to fight in the Ukraine war. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francil Padilla said that the German embassy in Manila has denied the allegation, which stemmed from a statement attributed to a Russian foreign ministry official. Colonel Padilla warned the public against this information as similar claims continue to circulate online. The AFP has coordinated with the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Department of Migrant Workers as part of its verification efforts. This is MJ reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, MJ.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy commissioned its second Miguel Malvar-class frigate, BRP Diego Silac FFGs-07, at Naval Operating Base Subic, Zambales yesterday, placing the upgraded multi-role warship into active service. Navy spokesperson Captain Marisa Martinez said the vessel strengthens the country's capability to defend its sovereignty and boost maritime domain awareness in the West Philippine Sea. The 116-meter frigate features modern weapons, electronic warfare systems, and a longer range and displacement than the Jose Rizal-class ships. Defense officials said the ship marks continued progress in military modernization and will join next year's Balikatan exercises after completing battle readiness evaluations.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, Department of Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. urged the employees to uphold consistency and sincere public service amid the holiday season. He urged them to let the Christmas spirit live in them all month long. Chu Laurel also reminded the DA employees to stay grounded and principled despite all the distractions and pressures during the holidays. The DA chief also thanked the staff for their hard work as he marked his second year of leadership, citing continuous efforts to uphold the welfare of farmers, fishers, and consumers.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let's hear the report of Marian about Philippine Air Force continuous deployment of troops to support Palawan relief operations.
The Philippine Air Force continued assisting the Palawan Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office in delivering relief goods to communities affected by Tropical Storm Bervena. Led by Tactical Operations Wing West with POP Civil Military Operations Group, the 578th Air Base Group, Tactical Operations Group Palawan South, and Tactical Operations Squadron Pag-asa, the POP sent additional personnel. Air Force teams helped hold donated supplies bound for hard-hit areas across the province. The unit said it remains committed in supporting ongoing humanitarian and disaster response efforts in Palawan. This is Marian reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Marian.
DWDD National News.
The Land Transportation Franchising Authority Board is now finalizing the review of all the applications for special permits for passenger buses for the expected influx of travelers in the upcoming long Christmas and New Year holidays. LTFRB Chairperson Vigor Mendoza II said the review is aimed at ensuring that only units that would pass the roadworthiness inspections will be given the special permits. This is in line with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to ensure passengers' comfort and safety. Mendoza stressed that the intention to provide more passenger buses will not compromise the safety and comfort of the passengers. He added that the safety and comfort of the passengers will always be the priority.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Agriculture highlighted the country's strengthened partnership with Canada. This came following the high-level development meeting between DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. and Canada's Secretary of State for International Development Randeep Sarai in early November. The DA chief expressed his gratitude for Canada's continued support for the food security targets of the Marcos administration. Chu Laurel said Canada remains a vital partner in strengthening the agricultural sector. He added that the shared commitment to food security, value-adding, and technical cooperation positions both countries for long-term, mutually beneficial growth.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Mike about the Army Signal Battalion seals partnership with USTP CDO.
The Philippine Army's 4th Signal Battalion signed a partnership with the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Cagayan de Oro, to boost its technical and capability development programs. The agreement enables training, research collaboration, and knowledge exchange to enhance both organizations' communication and technology capabilities. Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Filmer Fernandez said the partnership strengthens their modernization efforts and support mission-ready communications across northern Mindanao. The collaboration will provide troops with specialized training and technical workshops as part of the Army's broader signal modernization initiatives. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, Malacanang called on the Senate to work double time in its deliberation of 2026 national budget. Presidential Communications Office Under Secretary Claire Castro made the call in reaction to a statement by Senator Sherwin Gatchalian that the upper chamber was working on a tight schedule to pass next year's spending plan. She said the president does not want a reenacted budget, so even though time is running short, they hope the Senate could speed it up. The Senate's version of the 6.792 trillion proposed national budget is undergoing amendments and is aimed to be passed on the third and final reading by December 9.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, 9 officials at the Department of Public Works and Highways in Mimaropa accused of malversation of public funds through falsification of public documents over road dike construction project in Nawan Oriental, Mindoro, pleaded not guilty during their arraignment before the Sandigan Bayan. Arraigned before the 6th Division were Gerald Pacanan, Jean Ryan Altea, Ruben Santos Jr., Dominic Serrano, Juliet Calvo, Dennis Abagon, Bontrexis Tamayo, Lerma Caico, and Felizardo Casuno. The Office of the Ombudsman filed the case last November 18, 2025 against the 9 people, together with former Racubico Party List Representative Zaldico, among others.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Shire about Naval Cyber Warfare Force hosts Kalasag Cyber Drill.
Yes, good afternoon. The Naval Cyber Warfare Force led the Philippine Navy Cyber Exercise 03-2025 Kalasag, uniting personnel from multiple units in the reserve force to strengthen cyber readiness. The week-long activity included realistic defense scenarios, red-blue team drills, and a capture the flag challenge to test threat detection and incident response skills. The exercise aimed to enhance the Navy's resilience against cyber attacks and protect mission-critical systems. Officials said the initiative reinforces the Navy's commitment in improving interoperability and maintaining a strong cyber defense posture. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD National News.
With 22 days to go before Christmas, the Department of Labor and Employment reminded private employers to release the law-mandated 13-month pay on time. DOLE Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma said the 13-month pay is a statutory right of workers. He added that employers must ensure timely and full compliance, as this benefit is crucial in supporting Filipino families during the holiday season. Under Labor Advisory 16 Series of 2025, the 13-month pay applies to all rank-and-file employees in the private sector, regardless of position, employment status, or wage payment method, provided they have worked for at least 1 month during the calendar year.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development and the Department of Economy, Planning and Development agreed to update the price ceiling for socialized housing of housing lot packages and condominiums. Housing Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling said that he signed the joint memorandum circular, which would be a huge boost to the ongoing nationwide rollout of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino program. Aliling said that with the JMC, they can expect more quality and bigger socialized housing units for the home buyers, and of course a motivation to the private partners to develop more housing projects. He added that this will definitely prop up the ongoing implementation of the 4PH program, which covers all socialized housing projects in the country.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From Spencer, updates about Tanay responders, soldiers trained together for hazmat and rappelling readiness.
Yes, ROF local tour guides, Tanay Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office personnel, 2nd Infantry Division soldiers, and firefighters began a 10-day basic safety training on hazmat awareness and rappelling at Camp Kipinpin in Rizal. The joint activity aims to strengthen community preparedness during emergencies. Participants learn to identify hazardous materials, respond safely to chemical incidents, and perform basic rappelling technique for rescue operations. Organizers said the initiative highlights the importance of unified training to boost safety and resilience in crisis situations. This is Spencer, reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer Ross.
DWDD National News.
Meanwhile, medical experts are sounding the alarm as cases of human immunodeficiency virus and acquired immunodeficiency syndrome among Filipino youth surge. They emphasize that early awareness and accessible testing, even for those as young as 15, are critical to reversing the rising cases. The Philippine Pediatric Society for World AIDS Day health experts revealed about 34% of new HIV cases were now among those aged 15 to 24. The Infectious Disease Society of the Philippines President Dr. Joanne De Castro revealed early sexual activity, multiple partners, and transsexual sex are putting the youth at increased risk.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Migrant Workers opened the Philippine-Finland Friendship Week to celebrate and strengthen the bilateral relations between the two nations. DMW Undersecretary Dominic Robia Tutay said the event not only highlights the strong diplomatic relations between Manila and Helsinki, but also helps maintain the friendship and cultural relations. She said that two countries recently signed a joint declaration of intent to promote fair, ethical, and sustainable labor mobility, ensuring that Filipino workers enjoy proper protection, dignity, and competitive salaries depending on their skills and experience. Tutay said a detailed agreement that outlines pilot areas of cooperation will soon be signed and implemented by both countries, strengthening Finland's labor force for its healthcare, information technology, service and retail sectors, while providing detailed employment for our overseas Filipino workers.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development has inaugurated a series of community building projects in Cagayan Province that aim to strengthen the mobility, safety, livelihood, and resilience across several barangays. DSWD Undersecretary Alan Tanhusay said the newly completed projects in Cagayan Valley represent the department's commitment in uplifting communities, especially in the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. He added these projects reflect the promise to uplift every Filipino family, especially those in Gidas. When they build roads, classrooms, and child development centers, they are not just constructing infrastructures, but also building hope, dignity, and opportunity.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rob Susan Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng